Welcome to 10th Global Accessibility Awareness Day 2021. Hello everyone. We have with us the driving forces of A&J Consulting International, Arjun Natarajan and Chen. Arjun is a dynamic personality with experience ranging from logistics and transportation to telecom. Arjun has a diverse portfolio. He actively pursued consulting in China, New York, and India, gaining valuable experience and adding productive value to the organization he associates with. As founder and chairman, he leads the company primarily in business expansion and entry into new markets. Working with a diverse population has given him insight about inclusivity in Chinese businesses. Chen is a co-founder at A&J Consulting International too. Now with 20 plus years in the field of entrepreneurship, cross-border business development, financial and real estate, risk advisory and investments, Lishuang is an inspiring figure. In her years of experience, she explored Chinese policy in terms of inclusivity and accessibility. Now, in conversation with these noteworthy personalities.
Welcome, Arjun and Jenny. We would love to hear your perspectives from China on the topic of social inclusion and accessibility. It's um, it's a new perspective we'll be hearing this at the GAAD, and it's something our global audience would love to hear about. So let's dive right into some questions. So, Arjun, in China, how easy do you feel it is for people on wheelchairs to take public transports like buses, metro, trains, other commuting transportation?
All right. Okay. So I'm happy to be part of this GAD initiative. So it is something that we always want to uplift the community and spread the word out there in terms of accessibility and inclusion and digital inclusion in the current world. And yes, I'm also happy to say partnering with the GAD initiative and with the nonprofit is something that we take it very seriously to get the word out there. And to answer your question, I have been in China for quite some time. At least for it's been around 3 plus years. And from my personal experience and traveling across many parts of China, I would say China is highly accessible for people with disabilities, especially for people with wheelchairs. So, in terms of taking the local metro or the high-speed bullet trains, it is or taking the buses, it is fairly easier. But because all the metro stations are equipped with elevators, it is very rarely I've seen they're probably in a tier 3 city, they might not have elevators, but all the tier 1 and tier 2 cities are equipped with elevators and escalators. So people who use wheelchairs can, move up and down, go underground, go basement 1, basement 2, and overground as well. So it is very easy. But taxis gets a little difficult. Some taxis do provide services for wheelchair people. But buses is okay because a lot of buses have the automatic the provision that opens up for wheelchairs, and people are always there to help when they see someone with special needs.
Okay. So, Arjun, you also lived in multiple countries. So, where in comparison with infrastructure and also commuting, what do you feel? How do you feel China is doing, and what are your observations from the rest of the world as well when it comes to accessibility?
Right. Yeah. So yes, I have lived in the east and in the west for a significant amount of time, and it is no doubt, and I honestly will say that China is more. It is technologically and infrastructure-wise highly sophisticated or advanced than many Western countries. In a way where people with disabilities can be treated better or have a better quality and standard of living. What I mean by that is when I traveled in China, I have noticed there are special counters, special windows, special what do you call a customer service for people who are handicapped, people with disabilities. So in special queues, if I want to go buy a train ticket, there are common lines. Let it be like there are 5 counters. 3 counters or 4 counters will be for regular Chinese people, and 1 counter will be for foreign citizens or foreign nationals, and another counter will be for people with special needs. So this kind I've hardly seen it in other countries. Probably in big cities such as London, Paris, and New York, there is to some capacity. But in many of the tier 2 cities or tier 3 cities, I've not seen it. But in China, it is very common. And even during my time in the West, only specific or the hotspot or the touristic spots have these kind of amenities for people with disability. But once you go to, let it be away from the city center, such kind of relaxation or help is not easily available. And because in China, even you go to a bank window, a bus lane, a parking spot, all of them are specially allocated for people with the special needs. Whereas in other countries, it is there, but relatively less is what I would say.
Okay. It's nice to see that there's a lot of work in this space that has already happened in China, and yeah, even across the world, there has been some work that has happened. So, Jen, from a government perspective, do you feel there are any benefits, incentives, or subsidies in place for people with disabilities, or to support people with disabilities?
Yes, sure. There are a lot of benefits. For example, in terms of tax, the services provided by individuals with disabilities, they will be exempt from business tax and also individual income tax also there. And local community people, staffs, they will provide door-to-door service to assist daily living to help them out with maybe small problems, but it's like daily living based. And at the same time, also the government will give direct cash subsidies to the disabled people, and the standard will be different from 100 to 700 RMB per month. Depends on which region you're from. And some areas they will help disabled people. They pay for their insurance to cover some like health problems or reduce expenses. For example, traveling. They will be free go to bus or take bus or metro or maybe high speed train, and also water and electricity spends. Yeah.
That's quite a lot that's done in terms of policies. It's really nice to see that much being done in a country. Jenny, China is also one of the most digitally advanced countries.
Yeah.
How do you see technology being used in China to help differently abled people and different age groups as well?
Yeah, digital technology for us make us more convenient, and actually for them it's similar to change their life as well. For the kids, it I think the majorly it create better condition for them to receive education, because online class, online communicating with teachers, they make their life much easier, and this bring them bright life and hope as well. And for adults, the most directly is provide them employment opportunities, and they can easily make living a better life on their own. They are not like only depend on government or family support. They can making their own living. This, for example, like because China is very strong at the online things. So this kind of work, just sit in front of computer and you can help your clients out. So this is very easy for disabled people to do the job as well.
Right. Yeah, there's also like we've seen a lot of solutions as well come out, and that's in technology. Technology is an amazing tool to support all sorts of people, and it's lovely to see the work happening in China in that space. So, Jenny, you have a 10-year-old son, and I just want to understand from your personal experience in his current school or previous schools, have you seen any provision for children with special needs?
In general, there are special schools and campus for disabled kids from different ways, and they will have their own professional teachers and also their own education methods. Okay, but in my son's school, it's they have from my knowledge, they have a specific foundation and a free special class for autistic children, and to change their life, and they focus on this group very much, and the school members are very public spirited and to help all like people with special needs.
It's nice to see there's facilities and support in place in the schools and even in regular schools to integrate different kind of children and different kind of needs of children. Moving on, Arjun, you have lived in multiple countries and in the environment in the different countries. Um, how do you see that in contrast with China? How do you think China is doing?
Right. Yes. One thing I want to highlight here is at least since to the Indian diaspora, China is it's a large country with a very high population, and they have a very good healthcare system. Whether you are a common man or people that need special attention and special needs, so the healthcare system is very vast. Similarly, there are a lot of these Western countries that have a very good healthcare system that caters to people with special needs as well. But the biggest advantage I would see being a foreigner living in China and being a foreigner living in Western countries is the stability and security. How easy it is for foreigners to kind of get integrated into their local system. So one of the main reasons is because how organized and efficient in terms of a policy the Chinese authorities are. So that way, it actually helps people. So just similar to India, there are a lot of policies that are in place to help the people with special needs. But to what capacity or what outcome do we actually see is a question we have to take. But in China, I would say 80 to 90% or even more than that, it actually comes down. So when a policy is implemented, it actually people are benefiting on a day-to-day basis. And being a foreigner, so not as special needs, I do have social security and insurance in China, and if any from the COVID case, so it might be a little away from this. But on a personal note, China has taken steps to make sure as a foreigner when I was in China that I felt at home. So they want to include everybody as possible, whether they are Chinese or foreign nationals. So that when they do it for foreigners, definitely they are doing a lot for their own citizens who have special needs. So and that is something I give kudos to the authorities and the right departments for executing it well. So that is a major difference. The stability in execution with the Chinese authorities over to the West.
Mm-hmm. And okay, so Jenny, I just wanted to from you, I wanted to hear. So, what important challenges do you think need to be addressed in China regarding disability and inclusion? What do you think could change? What do you think could happen in the future?
Yeah, I think the most challenging is because China, like India, China also very big, and also with very big wealth gap between cities and undeveloped areas. So I believe there's still quite amount people. I mean, disabled people haven't enjoyed the farewell well yet. So I think we have to pay more attention to rural areas and to deliver the benefit to those areas to help them out because their living condition and the environment, they are not that great. So the life will be more tough than disabled people in city, right? So this need the government and the related institutions. They have to join effort together to make it happen and to create a better environment for them in undeveloped areas. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think even in India too, there is, like you said, India is also a very big country, and that gap on making sure you reach everybody is something we have to figure out how. As individuals, as citizens as well, and we have to figure out how to reach everybody. And hopefully, initiatives like this help create more awareness on the topic and how different people and different perspectives can come together to actually solve certain issues in inclusion. So I'd really like to thank you both for joining us at this event and sharing your perspectives. It was really nice talking to you today.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Arunima, for getting us on board for this initiative, and we are happy to do our part and get the word out there to the Chinese people and to the Chinese people across the world as well. So, thank you for having us.